to start doing some more full day of eating videos. The reason I stopped doing them so much is because I started eating the same things over and over again. But I just feel like it's better for me to stay accountable in what I eat every day. So today, Friday, we're going to have bulletproof coffee for breakfast. Okay, meal 2 today is 5 ounces of skirt steak, a cup of Brussels sprouts, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 56 grams of shredded cheese. I'm trying to get my fats up a little bit today. Okay, so it's Saturday morning and I'm doing my usual Saturday morning business. I'm making a shopping list, doing a little bit of meal prep, cleaning out the refrigerator, getting things ready for my trip out of town tomorrow when I go grocery shopping. So my first meal of the day this morning is my bulletproof coffee, or my keto coffee, and I prepped another one for in the morning because I'll be heading out of here about 6:30 a.m. and I want to be prepared with my coffee. So in this cup I just have my usual coffee ingredients: Kerrygold grass-fed butter, MCT oil, coffee drops, Himalayan sea salt, what else? Heavy whipping cream, coffee, and also I've decided to add about 1.5 tablespoons of collagen to my coffee to kind of help with my old lady wrinkly skin. See if that helps out a little bit. So I'm going to start adding that into my keto coffee. Okay, so instead of doing what I'm supposed to be doing today, I want to make a little recipe real quick because I'm kind of inspired by one of the YouTube channels that I follow, Kevin Tomlinson. Check him out. He was eating a Quest bar on his What I Eat Every Day challenge that he's doing right now. And I was like, oh man, I have a recipe somewhere for these. So I'm going to try to make a cleaner version of these Quest bars. So let's see how it turns out. I've never made this recipe before. I printed it out eons ago and I never tried it. So let's see how it turns out. Alright, so the first ingredient in it is this protein powder. I'm using Isopure because it's 0 carbs, and it says to use 4 scoops of vanilla protein powder, about 1/3 cup a scoop. So I'm going to put 4 scoops in my bowl. Okay, so the next thing I added was 1/4 cup of nut or seed butter of choice, and I had 3 different kinds of nut butters in my cabinet, but I decided to go with this organic creamy almond butter because out of the 3 that I had in my cabinet, that one had the lowest carbs. And I'm going to figure out the carbs and all the macros for this later after I finish. So I put 1/4 cup of almond butter in there, and then it says 1/3 to 1/2 cup of sweetener like honey, agave, stevia, Splenda, etc. And what I have here is something that I made before. It's erythritol and stevia mixed together, mostly the erythritol, a little bit of stevia, and then I blend it up in my blender to give it a powdered sugar kind of a consistency. So I'm going to pour that in. That's what that is. And it says 1/4 cup of oat fiber. So I've got some of that. Let me scoop that out. Okay, so there's 1/4 cup of oat fiber in there, and then 4 to 6 tablespoons of water, and it says to add it tablespoon by tablespoon and judge the consistency. So I'm going to add my water. I'm going to stir it up until it's the consistency that I want, and I'll be back. Okay, so it's all mixed up and I'm not sure what consistency I'm looking for, but I know I want it to be pretty stiff, and that's kind of what I have right now. So the recipe says to scoop out the dough, shape it into 5 bars, and add to a sheet lined with parchment paper. Refrigerate for 30 to 40 minutes to firm up. Okay, so I bought this handy dandy silicone mold quite a while ago, and I haven't used it yet. And so this is like the perfect thing to use it for. So I sprayed it with a little bit of coconut oil spray, and that's what I'm going to put it in. I'm thinking, I don't know what size theirs are, but we'll see how many I make. I sprayed about 8 of them. Okay, there they are. I made 7 of them, so obviously mine are a little bit smaller than the recipe called for. So I'm going to put some plastic wrap on top of this. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 40 minutes. I'm going to count up the macros, and we'll see what happens. I'm hungry a little bit early today, so I'm going to eat my second meal, which is 5 ounces of skirt steak with a little bit of serrano pepper, 1 cup of Brussels sprouts, and 2 ounces of cheese. Alright, several hours later, and we have success. I actually had them in the refrigerator for about 3 hours, and they never got hard enough for me to pop out of the mold, so I put them in the freezer for a couple of hours. Not enough time to freeze them and make them solid, but just enough to make a little protein bar. Shall we taste it? We shall. Mmm. That is dang good. Shoot. Okay, so I packed them all up in these little snack-sized baggies, and they're already getting a little bit soft, so I'm not sure, and they're a little bit sticky to the touch too. So I'm not sure what Quest puts on the outside of their bars in order for them to be not so sticky and to be shelf stable. But I'm not done yet, because I'm going to take one with me tomorrow when I go out of town as a snack, and we'll see what it tastes like in the afternoon. So I'm also thinking that, boy, this is just almond flavor straight up, but you could use a lot of different kinds of nut butters and different additives. I mean, it depends on what flavors you like and how many calories and how you want to change the macros. So this is just a basic recipe, and I think next time I would add 1/3 of a cup of erythritol instead of a 1/2 cup, and maybe put some pieces of almonds in there to make it a little bit crunchier. So that's it for this recipe. I'll give you an update tomorrow on how it's working out for me. Okay, so that's it for days 66 and 67. I didn't close out my vlog yesterday because I just had the 2 meals and that was it. And then today I had pretty much the same thing, except that I added collagen to my bulletproof coffee, and I tried out those Quest bars. Now the Quest bars, oh boy, they tasted good, and they're still in the refrigerator, and I tried to take one out to take a picture, and they're very, very sticky. So I'm thinking that it might be a good frozen treat. I don't know what Quest did to make theirs not so sticky. They must have put some kind of powder on the outside. In fact, I might put some oat powder on the outside of mine and see if that works. We'll try that out. So I was planning on taking one to shopping with me tomorrow. So I'm going to try that and see what happens. But I tried to take a picture, and yeah, it was really sticky. So I put them all back in the freezer. So they tasted good. It's not something you can really carry in your purse, as far as I know. because I have no preservatives or anything like that in it, but it was still good. So whatever. Anyway, that was my attempt at making a Quest bar. So tomorrow's my shopping trip. I'm taking Christian with me, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So until tomorrow, keep calm and keto on.